Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Escow.
Jeff
Doing my time. Doing my time. Got myself a problem.
Looking for the
inside track on everything sports, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Sports World Radio, the fastest 2 hours of sports talk on the internet with your hosts, Jeff Escow and Sean Mann.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Sports World Radio. How's everybody doing today? We got a jam-packed show for you guys like we do each and every day here on Sports World Radio. Gonna have a lot to talk about. Let's get all the particulars out of the way, and then we'll get on with the show. I am the host, Jeff Escow. This is Sports World Radio. You can listen to us each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com and on jockjournal.com/SportsWorld SWR as well. 6 p.m. on the East, 3 p.m. on the West, and if you live in the Central,
figure it out!
That's right, each and every Monday through Friday, and we do our Saturday show, Saturday nights, 9 o'clock on the East, 6 o'clock on the West, and if you live in the Central,
figure it out!
That's right. Figure it out, man. We got a lot of things going on today. We're going to have a blast. I hope you're ready for it. Here's all the ways you can get in touch with us here at Sports World Radio. Several ways to do it. 619-663-3715. 619-663-3715 is the number to get in touch with us here at Sports World Radio. If you're a Skype user, Sports World Radio Show on Skype. For you Skype users, Sports World Radio Show on Skype. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio, facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. Like our Facebook page. Right there, pinned to the top of our Facebook page is... What are you saying? Josh can't hear nothing? Sean, talk to me.
Taylor says he can't hear anything.
Well, where are you, Taylor? Yeah, see, there's something going on over on Sports World Radio. The player is not working right now, and I don't know why. So you have to listen to us on Spreaker.com, or just come into the show on Spreaker. For some reason, it's not playing on SportsWorldRadio.com, and I don't know why. I'm looking at it right now, and I don't know why. But we got
Josh is all good. He can hear it.
Yeah, but we got a bunch of people hanging out in the chat room over at SportsWorldRadio.com, because we do have our own chat room over there. We got Kyle's over there, and we got Nash is over there hanging out. Nash says his app is working fine on SWR, so there you go. He's hanging out on SportsWorldRadio.com listening to us. Okay, you can hear me. Cool. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I just want to make. Well, the encoder says I'm working. So screw all you people who are deaf. Twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. Twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. Don't forget we got SportsWorldRadio.com back up and running. Okay? You want to join our Facebook group, Sports World Radio's Facebook group? Go over to SportsWorldRadio.com and just sign up. You'll see it on the right-hand side. And then we also, on the right-hand side, under Pages, have something called NFL Division Survey. Go fill out our survey and tell us who's going to win each division in the NFL. Lots of things are happening here with Sports World Radio. You guys are going to love it. Head on over to SportsWorldRadio.com and check it out. Okay, let's bring in Sean Mann, the update man. Don't forget we have my sports shorts going on at swrsportshorts.com/SWR shorts. Sign up today and listen to every single conversation we have during the commercial breaks. I'm also making another website for that as well, where you can just get them individually instead of paying a monthly service. So look for that coming up in the next couple of weeks. swrsportshorts.com/SWR shorts. Now, with everything out of the way, geez Louise, Batman, let's bring in that co-host of ours, Sean Mann, the update man. What's up there, you rat bastard?
Good afternoon, Jeff Eskow. Thank you very much. It is September 9th, 2015, Wednesday. It is 6:08 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 3:08 p.m. on the West. Of course, in the East Coast, of course, I was just reading about weather. We'll get to mine in just a sec. The East Coast is getting blasted with hot weather. It's hot over there in the East Coast.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. I bet you it's hotter right where I'm at than it is in the East Coast.
Around Boston, New York, and Philly.
Yeah,
right
they don't
now,
know. They don't know freaking heat. They know humidity, but they don't know heat.
Right now, the temperature out here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, is a 77.
Lucky bastard.
77-degree day.
Lucky bastard. That's what you are. You're a lucky bastard.
Right now I am, but it's supposed to get warmer by the weekend as we are in late summer before we get ready for fall, even though the days are getting shorter now, where it gets dark about 8 p.m. Pacific time. And, of course, we already know it's
Lucky
dark
bastard.
in the Central and in the East Coast. Shout out to Josh Lopez. Hope you're doing well there, buddy. I did have a good Skype conference call with him today. Taylor, good to see you. Of course, hello to everybody at jockjournal.com. Hello, Kyle. Good to see you. And doing well in general. Just ready to have a great day. It's 87 out there in Vicksburg, Mississippi, where Shaba is at.
Lucky
Shaba and Laura.
bastards. 102 out there where Taylor is. You want to know something? It is freaking 100 degrees where I'm at, man. I'm telling you something. You can cook a freaking egg on the sidewalk again today. It's freaking hot.
That's going to be pretty hot for the San Diego Chargers this weekend at Qualcomm Stadium.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they're playing in 90-degree weather.
Would not be surprised either.
No, it's going to be smoking hot, man. I'm telling you. It's smoking hot right now. I got the air conditioner on. You know me. If the air conditioner is on, guess what? It's freaking hot.
102. So, Taylor, you live in Vegas? Is that where you live at, the gambling capital of the world?
Well, that's what happens when you live in Vegas, man. It's freaking hot out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 minutes after the hour, we have a Ryan Sticka-Blazing update. He said Jeff Eskow continues to be overrated. He has nothing on Skip Bayless. If he knew everything about sports, he would be on ESPN, and he doesn't deserve to because he's overrated, has a big mouth, and doesn't know anything about sports, and that Sean Mann is a lazy bum who only cares about his Boston sports, and Josh Lopez is a worthless producer, Shaba overrated, Laura full of it, Frank has a loud mouth, and Ron doesn't know anything about hockey.
Hey, I'm over at the SportsWorldRadio.com chat room right now, and Nash is in there, and Nash says, Sean Mann sounds like Dennis Miller.
I sound like Dennis Miller. Thank you for the compliment.
Hey, Ryan, I was talking to Josh last night, okay? And Josh said to me that Ryan is upset because he can't come into the chat room and chat with us. Well, hey, Ryan, check this out, you dumb bastard. You want to come and chat in the chat room? Go over to SportsWorldRadio.com. Scroll down and start chatting in the chat room, you dumb bastard.
Maybe he's afraid to
come
on in because he knows that
you.
everybody's going to go after him.
There's a chat room. Go over to SportsWorldRadio.com and start chatting away, you dumb rat bastard. Okay, go ahead. Come on. You said you can't come into a chat room to debate me because I blocked you in the other chat room. Well, guess what? Now we have another chat room over at Sports World Radio. You got no goddamn excuses. None. And not only that, you stupid ass. Okay, not only that, I got a better idea. Why don't you pick up your damn phone, you lazy bastard, and dial 619-663-3715. Why don't you do that? Huh? I know why. Because you don't got the cojones to do either one. To show up in the damn chat room or to call the damn show. You don't got the cojones to do either one. You bitch and complain and moan and groan, but when it comes down to it, you don't have the balls. And you want to know something? You say, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about on this show. I hate to tell you something. Okay? When Tim Tebow was trying out for the Philadelphia Eagles, there's only one person on Sports World Radio and in the sports business that said there's only going to be one position he's going to be at this year. And guess what? He's right back doing it again at the SEC network, you jackass. The only person that was right was me, you dumbass.
And I have to say, and Ryan Sticka Blazing also says, if you all think that LeBron James is not a successful basketball player, you're full of it. The guy's a champion. He has the potential to win more championships than any other NBA player and overtake Larry Bird or Michael Jordan or
Not gonna happen.
Bill Russell.
He's not going to happen. He's already lost 4. Not going to happen. How many has Michael Jordan lost?
None. He has 6 titles and he won all of them.
End of freaking discussion, you dumbass.
I know. That's why I blocked him on Facebook, because I got into a debate about, the Celtics winning 17 championships and having more than Cleveland. And I keep saying to him, Ryan Sticka Blazing, come talk to me when the Cavaliers win a championship. Come talk to me when you think that you know all the stuff about sports, because you are.
If he was so good at talking sports, then how come he doesn't have a show? I'll tell you why. Because he's got no clue what the hell he's talking about. He bitches and complains to me that I blocked him from the chat room. Well, guess what, schmuck? Head on over to SportsWorldRadio.com and start chatting away over there. Let's see if you got the balls to do that, bitch.
And thinking that you don't know anything about sports.
Yeah, I'm the only one who said that Tim Tebow will not make the Philadelphia Eagles, and he will be back broadcasting for ESPN and the SEC network. I'm the only one that said it. The only one. And everybody told me I was crazy. Well, guess right, bitches. I was right, and all you dumbasses was wrong, including you Ryan Dick is blazing.
And also,
hey, Inky.
I have been with Jeff for 7 years. He even got another thing correct. He called that Urban Meyer would go to what? Ohio State?
I called it a year before it actually happened.
That's right. I'm a witness to it.
On
Jeff
this
is
show,
not wrong
I
at
called
all.
it
He's
a
right.
year before
Jeff,
it happened on this show.
Let me tell you all something. Even the people at JockJournal.com that's doing a great job for us, Jeff is right 99% of the time. He doesn't miss a beat, and when he's right, he'll call you out on it, especially you, Ryan Sticka Blazing. And you know what? If you run to Josh Ryan Sticka Blazing and you call me a lazy bum and I'm lazy and I don't do anything with myself, I have a response to that. I have a life. I go to college, I work, I do a successful Sports World radio show, so I do a lot with my life. What do? Like Jeff points out, you go and you complain and cry and whine and gripe. I feel bad for Josh. He has to listen to your crap every day.
We're living,
Shut up.
Sports World Radio is living inside of Ryan Blazing's head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, rent-free. Thank you so much.
And how he wants to try to probably kick Sports
Cracks me
World
up.
Radio off the internet.
Cracks me up. It ain't going to happen. Hey, if you want to play in our fantasy, or in our NFL Pro Pick'em League, listen, the NFL season starts tomorrow, so you only got 1 day to get in. Send an email to swrshow@gmail.com. In the subject line, put in Pick'em. Send it right now. Go to your freaking Gmail account or your email account or wherever the hell it is and send an email to swrshow@gmail.com, because I'm on it right now. I will send you the email during the show, the invitation during the show to play.
It is 3:17 p.m. on the West Coast, which makes it 6:17 p.m. on the East. The first story is out of the way with Ryan Sticka Blazing. I'm a little bit fuming here with Jock Journal. According to a report that Jeff sent me today, Taylor Galuska, I think that's how you say it.
Hey, good job. Hey, Sean, good job. Good job. I was afraid to pronounce his last name. Good job. Say that again.
Taylor Galuska.
Way to go. This guy. Hey, Taylor, what the hell are you, the Taylor's top 10 quarterback? Get the freak. Listen, if you want to see this article, go over to jockjournal.com. Taylor wrote his top 10 quarterbacks of the NFL this year. I don't have a problem with number 1. I don't have a problem with number 2. I don't even have a problem with number 3. I have a major problem with number 4.
I knew that was coming.
In fact, I got a major problem with where he put this guy at number 4, because a couple of guys on this list should be higher than him.
if we could go back a little bit here, think about all the writers that we have for the top 10 list that have come out. James Perzelli put Tony Romo, what was it, at number 5, and then there was another person who put Romo at number 4. ESPN put him at number. There was another person that you got after Jeff on Facebook that put Romo at number 2.
How do you put? Okay, this is Taylor's top 10, and I'm going to read it from number 10 and go to number 1, guys. Okay, this is Taylor's top 10 on JockJournal.com. Matt Ryan 10, Russell Wilson 9, Phillip Rivers 8, Peyton Manning 7, Andrew Luck 6, Drew Brees 5. I know Shaba's going to like that. Tony Romo 4, Ben Roethlisberger 3, Tom Brady 2, and Aaron Rodgers 1. Are you freaking kidding me, Taylor? Why is what? Am I? What?
I have to say, and I'd have to admit, yes, I talked with Josh first off about this. He was in shock, and he says he was like, "Grr, how's that possible?" I still have, everybody, the top 10 list that Jeff, Josh, and I did back on July 9th, which was a hot Thursday out here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and it was pretty funny how Jeff just blew up and exploded at the at James Perzelli. Now Taylor with Jock Journal, I never would have expected that.
We have another writer in the Spreaker chat room. Taylor Aries is in the Spreaker chat room with us right now, and he agrees with the other guy's list. So, I got an idea. Hey, Taylor, you want to come on the show at the bottom of the hour and talk about this? Do me a favor. Go on Facebook, send me a private message with your phone number, and I'll call your ass at the bottom of an hour, and we'll get down to this. We'll figure this problem out. On the fly, I don't care. Let's do it. That's the same Taylor? Then you better. Send me your number on a private message on Facebook. Are we friends on Facebook? Hit me up on Facebook. I got to get you on the line for this. I got to get you on the line for this because I totally 100% disagree. Where the hell is Joe Flacco?
Joe Flacco. Another thing I disagree with you about there, Taylor, is how could you stick Russell Wilson at number 9?
Exactly.
Or even Peyton Manning at 7 or Andrew Luck. And you got Romo ahead of Brees and Luck, and Manning, Rivers, Wilson, and Matt Ryan.
Right. And you don't even have Flacco on this list.
He says, will do. So I guess he wants to call in at the bottom of the hour.
Great. You know what? I got a better idea. Why don't you just call the show at 619-663-3715? And we'll add you to the call if I can add you to the call. How about them apples?
I knew, Jeff, when you said it to me and I saw Romo on the list, I said to Josh, I was like, oh, Jeff is going to flip out again.
I don't get it. I'm okay with number 1 and number 2 and number 3. I am okay with that. But how do you stick Tony Romo at number 4?
Here's what Taylor says in his opinion of Tony Romo. Some might say that the loss of DeMarco Murray would have an effect on Romo's numbers this year. I personally beg to differ. When you have Des Bryant, you'll put up outstanding numbers. If you couple Bryant with Terrence Williams, you have a fantastic tandem. Romo's passer rating of 113.2 wasn't because of Murray's running. It was because of the Cowboys' outstanding offensive line.
Wrong. It was because of Murray's running.
The Cowboys will continue to run on all cylinders in 2015 and stroll into the postseason.
Yeah, right. Sure. Okay. Whatever.
And Shaba, that's addressed towards you, buddy, because Romo's at number 4, and then they put Drew Brees at number 5. I wonder how you feel about that. Romo had a Brees.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's ridiculous.
I just don't understand. I was talking with Nash last night, and he pointed this article out to me, and then I woke up today, and I was like, oh, yeah, that article.
And then he sent it to you, and then you sent
I
it
went
to me
over
and
to
sent it
Jock
to Joe.
Journal, and I said, where's that freaking article? And I said, oh, there it is. And then I sent it to Josh, and I sent it to Sean, and I says, hey, this is the opener. I don't care what you got planned. This is the opener. Because this is not right.
I wanted to mention it as the opener.
This is not right.
Yeah, but Romo will have a breeze up his ass the night of October 4th. I'll be looking forward to that, Shabba, when Dallas plays at New Orleans on Sunday Night Football.
619-663-3715 is the number to get in touch with us here at Sports World Radio. That's 619-663-3715. When we go to commercial break, Taylor, you call the show.
Because the way I look at it, it's just really amazing and sad how journalism is these days, how they praise Tony Romo, praise the
he's
Dallas
done nothing.
Cowboys that they're back.
I don't care he's got 113.2 freaking passer rating. Big stinking deal. And what has Terrell Williams done? You're going to double-team freaking Dez Bryant so he don't beat you, and you're going to force Terrell Williams to beat you. And, oh, yeah, you got to depend on somebody who likes the weed to play? Come on. You're
Dez Bryant
depending
will be
on
upset.
7 to 8 guys coming back from either injury or suspension or smoking the weed. Come on now, man. Seriously?
Dez Bryant will be upset that he doesn't get the football
Exactly
very much.
right. Exactly right. And I'm going to tell you something. Every single year, they depend on Tony Romo to throw the ball constantly. What happens?
He loses.
They end up 8-8, don't they?
They lose.
They had
and
a
it's an epic
dynamite
joke.
running game last year. Well, guess what? They don't got that running back no more. So they're going to depend more on Tony Romo to throw the ball, and guess what's going to happen?
They're going to have an epic choke.
Exactly right.
And that's why Jerry Jones says, I got my future Hall of Fame quarterback.
He ain't no Hall of Fame quarterback, I'll tell you that. Unstinking believable. No Joe Flacco. What's up with that?
I don't know.
Russell Wilson at number 9. Come on. I'll tell you what. Move Russell Wilson up, put Joe Flacco on there, and move Tony Romo down. To like maybe number 10, if lucky. Ridiculous.
And Romo's been a part
You
of
got a guy,
four.
Russell Wilson. You got him freaking ranked number 9. He's been in the last 2 Super Bowls, won one of them, and has been in the league less time than freaking Tony Romo. And when he went to Seattle, they sucked. And look what the turnaround he's done in the less time that he's been there. And look at the turnaround that they did in Dallas. They're still waiting for it. Unstinking
Taylor,
believable.
I can't wait, Taylor, till you come on the line so we can hear your explanation about this, because Jeff's got probably a bone to pick with you for a little bit of fun.
Unbelievable. That's right. Hey, Ryan's dick is blazing. That's right. I'm talking about the Cowboys. Can't stand that. That's ridiculous, man. That drives me freaking nuts.
And you know, two people are praising this whole thing. Jerry Jones and Skip Bayless.
Drives
I'm sure
me
they're
nuts.
both just loving every minute of it.
As one freaking... You got freaking one good year. He had one good year. And everybody's calling him God. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that, boys and girls. Okay? You got to be consistent. Year after year after year after year. Well, guess what? He hasn't done that year after year after year.
Exactly what I planned on. I know, Taylor.
Ridiculous,
I'm going to be waiting to hear this explanation.
Ridiculous.
Because I know Jeff's going to have something to say about this.
There's no explanation that he can come up with. None. There's no... And you want to know something? It's not even an excuse. Because you know what I think about excuses?
I know what you mean.
They're like assholes. Everybody's got one. All right? It's kind of like the word if. If my mother had balls, she'd be my father. Okay?
So what you're saying, yeah, we know how you are. Yeah, excuses are like a-holes. Everyone's got one.
That's right. Okay? Come on now.
The Cowboys are back, Jeff. The Cowboys are back.
Cowboys are back. I'm having a heart attack over here. The Cowboys are back. The Cowboys are back to be going. You know what? The Cowboys are back, all right. They're back to being 8-8. That's what they're back to.
That's funny.
They're back to being 8-8. That's what they're back to. Holy freaking Toledo. Well, I'm trying. Well, danger zone. I'm trying not to say the F word. That's why I'm saying freaking.
Yes, we're trying to limit
I'm
that.
trying to keep it, so kids can listen to the show. So I'm trying not to say the F word.
Make it professional.
That's right. At least a little bit.
Yeah.
'Cause he got me all riled up, so there's no telling what's going to come out of my mouth now.
Well, we're only 29 minutes after the hour, and
exactly.
I'm sure Jeff's going to be ready to hear what Tayl
Yeah.
has to say.
It's only 29 minutes into the show, and already you got me riled up. Way to go.
That's because of this Jock Journal writer, and I'm sure Nash was shaking his head, too, when he first saw this whole thing.
Between you starting the show off with Ryan Dick is Blazing and
Yes.
this freaking Jock Journal article by Taylor, yeah, I'm all fired up, man. Yeah, I'm
well, we
all
knew
fired
that was
up.
coming.
Yeah, let's run to our first commercial break. You're listening to Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design.
Which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow new way to workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. Okay, as we promised, and I'm going to let Sean say it because Sean said it correctly when he said his last name. Sean, who's on the line with us?
Ladies and gentlemen.
We lost him. We lost him. He just got
no.
disconnected. We had Taylor on the line with us. Let's hope he calls back in. We had Taylor on the line with us.
Ah, shucks.
Yeah, let's get him. Let's see if we can get him back in. Let's call him back and see if we can get him back in. I'm calling him right now, guys. You're going to hear the dial tone. You hear the ringing on the other end. Let's see if we can get him back in here.
Hello?
Hey, Taylor.
Yo.
Okay, Sean, go ahead. Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 33 minutes after the hour, we have Taylor Galuska.
From JockJournal.com joining us because we were talking about his article on Jock Journal. Okay, Taylor, I told you not to say a word before you came on the air because you were you were all fired up. The floor is all yours, and then I will rebut you, my friend.
All right. Well, first of all, what I want to say is bad publicity is good publicity. So thank you for blasting my article.
You're welcome,
Makes
pal.
me very happy.
You're welcome, pal.
Second is the way that I could have approached this list would have been the boring way, by going with what you said. You know, the standard run-of-the-mill type of things, like Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, and Joe Flacco, which I wouldn't honestly even put him in my top 10. I'd throw somebody else in there. But I have Romo rated so high, not only because I didn't want to do the standard list, but also because when you throw for 34 touchdowns and you only throw 9 interceptions, that's insanely impressive. His QBR was very, very, good. And Andrew Luck, everybody's very high on Luck, but he throws interceptions like a machine. Like, when you think of Luck, you think, oh, man, he throws so many yards every single game. Well, he actually throws a lot of interceptions. He had one for every game last season. If you can't go through a game without having no interception, it's not as impressive, okay? Second, you said that you don't think that Tony Romo will have as good of a year because DeMarco Murray's gone. Well, first of all, that was his first year doing well. Murray's, that is. It was his first year doing well as a running back. Okay, he's been a no-name since last year. Okay, he's not going to do good in Philly. I don't know if you believe that or not, but
I believe that.
Philly's offensive line is not impressive.
I believe that.
It was injury-ridden.
Yeah, but just because Dallas Cowboys have a good offensive line doesn't mean any running back can run behind that.
No, and that's true, okay? But, I think that you can also put, a regular running back that's shifty behind that line, and they'll do just as well. DeMarco Murray is good. There's no doubt about it, but it has a lot more to do with the offensive line, I personally think. If you put Adrian Peterson can run behind any line, but if you put a standard running back that hasn't had a big blowout year behind that line, I'm sure that they can do well.
Do you think McFadden is going to do well, Randall's going to do well behind that line?
No, I don't think I think McFadden will get injured within the third week because that's just what he does.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What do you think the Dallas Cowboys record's going to be?
I could see them winning 10 games. 10 games, yeah. That's feasible to me.
So you see them going 10-6?
10-6, yeah. That sounds about right.
What the hell are these? Hey, Nash, where are you finding these people? So you're telling me that why'd you stick Russell Wilson at number 9?
Well, first of all, yes, he has been to 2 Super Bowls. That is impressive. But when you look at his numbers, they aren't extremely impressive, let's be honest. His defense really helps him. When you have the number 1 scoring defense in the league for the 2 years that you go to the Super Bowl, you don't need a lot of help.
Okay, so
you have your defense scoring for you.
So you strictly did this about numbers?
What, the whole article?
Yeah.
Well, I did it by numbers, and I also did it by how I think they play. Personally, I think Russell Wilson is a lot better at running the ball than he is throwing it. Let's be honest, he has 100 yards per game last season, pretty close anyway. And he throws for more, obviously, but I find him more impressive as when he's on the run or picking up first downs through the run.
See, I would put Russell Wilson at number 4. Tony Romo wouldn't be in there, and Joe Flacco would be number 10.
I haven't found Joe Flacco extremely impressive as of late. Yeah,
Still
if you think
has-
about his last couple seasons, they've
still
kind
has-
of fallen flat.
Still has more playoff wins than Tony Romo, and still has a
That's
Super Bowl.
true. Yeah, that is also true. I mean, he also got unbelievably lucky on that one pass. He should have definitely never ended up in that Super Bowl. But, yeah, you are right. He does have a Super Bowl win, and I can't say anything about that.
Okay, you have 3 guys on this list that do not have Super Bowls. I'm okay with those
Yeah.
3 guys on the list that don't have Super Bowls. But I'm kind of upset that
You're not okay with Tony Romo?
Yeah, I'm not okay with Tony Romo being number 4, and Joe Flacco's not on the list.
Well, see, a lot of what I find, well, I'm talking about going into the 2015 season, who I think is going to be impressive going into the season. I'm not talking about necessarily their entire career. You know, if I'm talking careers, then, yeah, Joe Flacco's probably going to be in there. Do I think that he's going to have a stellar year this year? No chance. Yeah, I mean, he's going to do well, but it's going to be another one of those fall flat seasons when you think about each team.
Okay, and am I right? Oh, no, you don't.
What?
No, I got you mistaken with somebody else. Nash told me that one of you guys lived out here in San Diego.
No, I cover the Chargers.
You cover the
but
Chargers.
I live in Vegas.
What do you think of the Chargers?
I don't know. I mean, they should do decent. It all depends on if Melvin Gordon can run the ball, because if Phillip Rivers has a good running back and could get that running game going, then Phillip Rivers is really good when he has solid ground game and he doesn't have to throw every single pass.
Yeah, they got no Antonio Gates for the first 4 games.
Yeah, that's going to be. That's his security blanket. That's going to be the toughest part of this whole thing. But as far as I've heard so far, I think that Stevie Johnson will be a nice little switch up. I think he's found a really good rapport with him.
Our buddy Shaba says he's agreed on Wilson. Breeze should be no lower than 6. Tony needs a Super Bowl to be in anyone's top 5, maybe even top 10.
I agree with that.
Well, I mean, if you're talking like career-wise, then yeah, I mean, definitely. I don't think that Tony Romo's career-wise, he's not a great quarterback. His numbers are still impressive regardless. But I mean, yeah, Breeze throws for an astronomical amount of yards every year, and he has 1 touchdown. I mean, he really is an outstanding quarterback. In fact, I wish that he was still on the Chargers. But I mean, I can't throw Flacco in there when his best weapon is Steve Smith. I mean, that's who I look at as his best weapon. That, or I mean, Justin Forsett, but he's not throwing to him, so I don't think that he's that impressive. And then you have another list that I saw had Alex Smith. Like, if I put Alex Smith on that list, how bad would you have ragged on that?
I probably would have ragged on that pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to put him on it. Like, that's horrible. So,
no, I think you got the quarterbacks right, except for Tony Romo.
Yeah, I mean, and their positions are a little off. Like, you know, I wanted to stick Luck higher, but I mean, I also didn't want to do the run-of-the-mill. I mean, I could have went on NFL.com and just freaking pulled off their list and put it up, because their list is exactly what I think, you know,
right,
it is like, you know, the proper, you know, list. But, you know, out of wanting to draw at least a little bit of attention, and the fact that I do think that Tony Romo is a decent quarterback going into this year, that's how it ended up.
And I know, Taylor, that you listen to this show, so I know that was kind of a little dig at me too.
What
you did with Tony Romo. I know you
listen.
Putting
Romo?
Yeah, I know that you. I know that you listen to this show. I know that you know how I feel about Tony Romo. So I had a feeling you wrote this article and stuck Tony Romo in there as a little dig at me too.
I mean,
go ahead, say it.
I'm not going to say that I didn't think it wasn't going to get your attention. I definitely thought that you were going to be a little bit irked at it. I didn't think that when I listened to today's show that you were going to have a heart attack or a coronary like you did. But, yeah, I did think that you'd say something about it.
Sean?
I just have been sitting here getting a big laugh out of it for the debate between.
He's been laughing the whole time. I could hear him.
That's why I got myself on mute. I can't contain my laughter, especially for the debate with Promo.
Yeah, well, when I saw this article, I was like, you come on now, really? I know he's taking a little dig at me because I know he listens to the show all the time, so I know it was a little dig at me. Okay, where's Eli Manning? For Jiminy Cricket's sakes, the guy's got 2 Super Bowls and he's MVP. Come on, come on.
Yeah, I mean, Eli Manning's really good. He really is. But when you think about his his prior seasons.
Well, he's learning. He's learning a new offense, a totally new offense. That doesn't happen overnight.
Learning a new offense for the last 5 years.
No, that doesn't.
He's been throwing interceptions like it's nothing.
Well, yeah. Well, last year was a new offense. The year before that, the offense stunk, and they had no choice but to throw all the time, and that's why all the interceptions came. Last year he was learning a new offense. This year the offense should be so much better, and he's got 2 Super Bowls. He's got MVPs. He's got multiple playoff wins. Okay, he should be on this list.
I also think that he kind of has like a little bit of a Russell Wilson vibe to him too, just because his defense in that era when he was winning those Super Bowls. I mean, think about the names that you had on that defense, like Justin Tucker, Michael Strahan. Well, actually, no, I don't know if Michael Strahan was on that.
He was on the. He was.
Yeah, was he on it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
Yep.
But I mean, he also had a stellar defense that year too, and I mean, you could say whatever you want about these quarterbacks, but I mean, he also got lucky as well in one of his Super Bowls. That fucking that little catch that he had off of his helmet. I mean,
yes,
all luck, but he got it, so he's amazing. I personally feel different about Eli.
I just, I have a little hard time with this top 10. That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's perfectly cool, and honestly, I mean, I want people to disagree and to get heated about it, just like you did. It's good. I like it.
Hey Taylor, thank you so much for joining us here on Sports World Radio. We appreciate your time, buddy.
Yep, no problem.
Hey, you know what? Where else can the listeners find you besides Jock Journal?
Jock Journal is mainly where I write. They can also find me on Twitter at Tayari, just football. And yeah, those are my main 2 writing websites.
Do me a favor, Sean. Say his name for me.
Taylor Palus. Oh my gosh! I hope I said that.
Oh, you messed it up.
You messed it up, Sean. It's Taylor I can't even do it.
Galuska, I got both of you.
Galuska. Thank you, buddy. Hey, man, thank you so much
problem.
for spending some time here with us on Sports World Radio. I know we're going to have you on again. I know it. So just keep writing those articles for Jock Journal, and I'll keep disagreeing with you.
Taylor,
good.
Taylor, before we let you go, I wanted to ask, who's your Super Bowl pick?
Oh, I'm going to go out of the ballpark, and instead of saying one of the things that everybody else says, I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Steelers and who?
Steelers and probably the Packers, unfortunately.
Steelers and Packers, and you're picking and you're picking the Steelers to win?
Huh?
You're picking the Steelers to win the Super Bowl this year?
Yep.
Oh, I'm hanging up on you right now.
Do it.
I'm hanging up on you right now. Goodbye. There goes Taylor Augusta right there from JockJournal.com. We're going to run to our first update of the day. This update is brought to you by JockJournal.com. Head on over to JockJournal.com and you can read articles just like that we just talked about by Taylor and a whole bunch of other writers. Go check it out, JockJournal.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the first update of the day.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you very much, Taylor, for coming on in for a short and brief interview. It's 47 minutes after the hour on Wednesday, September 9th, 2015. In Major League Baseball, breaking news, Bob Melvin and the Oakland Athletics have agreed to a 2-year contract extension through the 2018 season. So he will not be fired after this year, despite a disappointing Oakland Athletics season. Major League Baseball, one final from the day, afternoon baseball. The Cardinals over the Cubs by a score of 4-3. Other action we got, Wednesday night baseball on ESPN will be the Mets at the Nationals, key NL East showdown. A big matchup in the AL East. The Baltimore Orioles, who were dominant last year, try to play spoiler against the New York Yankees, who are trailing the Toronto Blue Jays in the AL East. Braves at the Phillies, Rays at Tigers, Blue Jays, who I just mentioned, leading the Yankees, taking on the Red Sox tonight. Pirates at the Reds, Brewers at the Marlins, Indians at White Sox, Twins at Royals, Rockies at Padres, Diamondbacks hosting the Giants. Another game on ESPN, the City of Angels matchup. Interleague play, it'll be the Dodgers taking on the Angels. Astros at Athletics, and lastly, it'll be the Rangers at the Mariners. In the NFL, we are less than 24 hours away, ladies and gentlemen, from opening night for the NFL 2015 regular season. It will be the New England Patriots, the four-time Super Bowl champions, looking to retain that championship, trying to win back-to-back Super Bowls for the first time since 2003, 2004. They will host the Pittsburgh Steelers to kick off the 2015 season. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the NFL Real Talk is coming back on Saturday, where Jeff, Josh, Frank, and me, Sean Mann, will be giving our picks for week number 1. So stay tuned for that for every Saturday night on NFL Real Talk. I am Sean Mann for the first of 2 updates for Sports World Radio. This update was brought to you by JockJournal.com. Go on over to JockJournal.com and look at all the big headlines and stories and opinions from all the magnificent sports writers at JockJournal.com. When we come back from this commercial break and update, more sports talk with Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann. And hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, at the top of the hour, Ron Gallo will be coming in with his NHL hockey perspective. Be right back after the commercial.
Sports World Radio, the fastest 2 hours of sports talk on the internet with Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think. Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at MPP.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hello there. I'm a famous actor. Pretty sure you know who I am. And when I want to know what's going on in the sports world, I tune into Sports World Radio.
She asked me maybe if I could share her sorrow.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. Hey, Taylor Galuska, thank you for joining us from JockJournal.com, talking about his top 10 quarterbacks for this year, I guess, or whatever the hell. I don't agree with it. especially his number 4. But that was a great interview. Totally on the fly, not planned at all. Thank you for joining us. We'll do it again soon, I hope. Hey, Danger Zone. I like what she said. She goes, damn, now I got to go and try my hardest to write an article to piss Jeff off, too. You set the bar way too high, Taylor.
Now you're ready to push Jeff's buttons even further.
Hey, Danger Zone, you don't have to write an article. Just dial 619-663-3715, and we'll bring you on the air, and you can piss me off right on the air. That's all. That's how we roll here on Sports World Radio. You know? What do you got for me next there, Mr. Shawnee?
All right. We stay with the NFL since we had a big, wide discussion on the Dallas Cowboys. We go to their NFC East rival, which is the Washington Redskins. The quarterback, Kirk Cousins, isn't worried that RG3, the third, remains on the roster. The Redskins gave Cousins the starting job after the third preseason game, feeling speculation that the Redskins would cut Griffin. But they kept him around, in part because he hasn't yet been cleared following concussion-like symptoms suffered in the second preseason game. Kirk Cousins came out and said this, quote, I don't feel a distraction in the building. The distraction is if I turn on the television, answer my phone, get on Twitter. What do you think, Jeff? You know, it's just because I think with RG3, him coming out saying a few weeks ago, I'm the best quarterback in the NFL, and then him adding and saying that, I had a belief that he was going to be cut. I'm still shocked by it, but I think it's wise what the Redskins do to make Kirk Cousins their quarterback because RG3 has been the injury-prone quarterback the last few years.
Yes, he has, and he'll remain that as long as he's in the NFL. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback either, though, but that's just my opinion.
I agree with you, and once Griffin is cleared, they're waiting the written results of his latest test. The Redskins will announce whether he will be the number 2 starting quarterback or the number 3 starting quarterback for Washington.
I think he's going to be the number 3 quarterback.
I think so, too, and I agree with you, Jeff, because he is just not showing a lot of people how he's a quality, classy quarterback and how he would want to maybe be on that top 10 list that we've talked a lot about going back to July of this year.
I think he's going to be the number 3 quarterback, and I don't think he's going to be playing too much at all. At all. Not one stinking bit. Unless somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's going to happen with RG3. I would like to see more production from him, but there's a bad situation brewing, I think, in the nation's capital with RG3 and Jay Gruden. I just don't think that – I think it's going to be temporary for a while, but throughout the course of the season, you could see the Redskins just let him go and say – things didn't work well. It's time to cut you loose and go our separate ways.
They just might once he clears health issues. They just might once he clears health issues.
Other news to report in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles and quarterback Sam Bradford have suspended contract negotiations attempting to commit him to the team beyond the 2015 season, league sources told ESPN on Wednesday.
That's pretty interesting right there.
At least it wasn't Tim Tebow.
Doesn't matter. Tim Tebow's back freaking broadcasting for the SEC, man.
What I'm just trying to
Just
get
like
at
I predicted.
is suppose Tebow had made the roster. They didn't cut him. Suppose they put him at number 3. Then the Eagles be like, we're going to make you one of our franchise quarterbacks for the foreseeable future.
Lots of luck, buddy. That's why he didn't make the team, because he's not good enough. Get through that. Get that through your freaking skulls, people. He's not an NFL quarterback. If he was, there'd be, because there's 95 other quarterback positions in the NFL. If he was good enough, guess what? One of those other teams would go and put him in second string or third string. But they didn't, did they? What does that tell you? Huh? What does that tell you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It tells you the same thing I've been telling you since he's been in the league. He's not an NFL quarterback. And the only person that's been saying it since day one is me. And guess what?
Yep.
Tim Tebow proved me right once again. I'm just saying.
That's right.
I'm just saying. I've been doing this show long enough to know. Okay? And Sean's been with me a long time. He sees me make these things. He sees me say these things and make these predictions. I haven't missed one yet, have I, buddy?
No, no, you haven't.
Exactly. 619-663-3715. Give us a call. Tell us your opinion on what we're talking about on the show today.
Before we go to commercial break, since we're at the top of the hour just about, your thoughts on the Mayweather fight. I won't be watching because I'm focusing on football.
When is that? Saturday?
Yeah.
I ain't going to be watching it neither. Okay? In fact, aren't we doing the show during the fight?
I think so.
Good. At least I got something to do so I don't have to watch the stinking fight. Do you know,
Boxing.
I told Josh this last night too. Do you know I have never watched a Mayweather fight except for the Pacquiao fight?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only Mayweather fight I've watched. And I'm not going to watch this one either. Because I don't care. The guy should be in jail as far as I'm concerned. Shouldn't be fighting. We're going to run to our top of the hour break. You're listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family. We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Have a question for Sean or Jeff? Tweet them now at Sports World Radio or on Facebook at Sports World Radio.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday, right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West, and if you live in the Central,
figure it out.
That's right. Hey, Danger Zone, welcome to the show. This is your first time here listening to us. I don't know who you are, but I like you. Okay? And I said that during the commercial break. I said, Sean, I don't know who this girl is or who this broad is, but I like this broad. And I'm calling you broad because that's a term of endearment. Ask Laura. Ask Xan Rose. She knows. If I don't call you a broad, that means I don't like you. I like you. This is what she says. I really wish Pac had won the fight so Mayweather would shut his mouth. God knows nothing remotely intelligent comes out of it anyway. I really like this broad. Sean.
There you go.
I really like her. 619-663-3715. If you're
She's
a
great,
Skype user, yeah. If you're a Skype user, we're at Sports World Radio Show on Skype. Sports World Radio Show on Skype, 619-663-3715. Give us a call. Tell us what you're thinking. I really like this broad. Wow.
I bet you do. That's good for you.
Yeah, I mean, she's got some great opinions, man. I really like her. Great stuff coming out of her off of her chat today. Okay, we're waiting for Ron Gallo to get on home from work. Once he does, we're going to bring that rat bastard in there.
That's what we have to do, is have to just continue to keep on waiting.
That's okay. What do you got for me next there, you rat bastard?
She goes, I love you all back. That's what Danger Zone says. Well, thank you, Danger Zone. You're great, too. All right, now, we move to the NFL, of course. We talked about Sam Bradford. I'm glad the Eagles might be trying to do that, but maybe it isn't bad to suspend your contract talks with Sam Bradford if you want to make him the future quarterback for the team.
Come on. Really, Sam Bradford?
And I believe the Eagles, though, did make a mistake in part to get rid of Nick Foles.
Yeah, I don't know why they made a trade for Sam Bradford straight up for Nick. I was dumbfounded by that move. Totally 100% dumbfounded by that move.
Around March or April of this year, we were a bit shocked about that, too.
Yeah, I was totally 100% dumbfounded by that. I didn't get it, and you know what? I still don't get it. I still don't get it. Do you?
Yeah, I don't get that myself. That was really surprising and bewildering.
I don't understand it. Not one bit.
Rex Chapman is sentenced to probation to pay restitution after guilty plea. Former Kentucky basketball star and, of course, NBA basketball star Rex Chapman has been sentenced to probation and agreed to pay more than $15,000 to an Apple store in Arizona and complete 750 hours of community service after pleading guilty in a shoplifting case, the Lexington Herald-Leader reported.
Wow.
I think I will have to add Rex Chapman as a rat bastard candidate for doing some shoplifting.
Rex Chapman. An old NBA player, right?
Old NBA player. He's 47 years old. He's going to be back in court on September 25th.
Boy, how the mighty have fallen, huh? Hey, Danger Zone. Xan Rose, otherwise known as Laura, has been listening to Sports World Radio almost as long as I've been doing it. She's been here as long as you have, haven't she, Sean?
Let's see.
Laura?
I've known you, Laura. I met her. Let's see. Met her through you, Jeff. You
Right.
introduced me to her and all the other Skype pirates.
Right,
That was
and
about
so
08,
Laura was already listening to Sports World Radio before you even came aboard, and you've been here for 7 years almost next month. So she's been listening to it long before you even came on. So she's
That's
a
right.
long-time listener. Long-time listener.
And Laura, Danger Zone is a great friend. I get along with her very well. We Skype when we have to just to visit as friends, and Shabba, and she has a wonderful man, and Shabba right there. Props to you too, there, Laura. That means as a compliment.
Yeah, I got a thing for Laura's shoulder. I do. Laura knows it. I got a thing for her shoulder. She knows it. I always have. I've always have. She used to send me pictures of just her shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah, it used to drive me freaking bananas, man. Used to drive me nuts.
Rex Chapman, of course, getting busted. I added him to the list of rat bastard
That's right.
candidates.
Rex Chapman, definitely a candidate this week for rat bastard. What do we got? 10 candidates already?
We've got a lot of candidates. We've got the high school incident where the two players got suspended indefinitely for what they did.
Yep. We got a lot of rat bastard candidates. We should put them up. You know what? I might put them up on the website.
There you go.
You know, I'll put them up on Sports World Radio and let everybody vote on it. You know what I mean?
And speaking of those two people that got busted, the governing body for Texas high school sports questioned Wednesday whether the coaches of two football players accused of intentionally ramming a referee should have done more to calm emotions in a tense game. The University Interscholastic League's executive committee heard from local officials on their investigation into the incident involving John Jay High School in San Antonio. The organization is investigating several allegations, including that the hit was prompted by something an assistant coach said and was preceded by racial slurs from the targeted umpire, Jeff.
Really?
Yep.
So I got an idea. Go over to another referee and say something. Don't deck him. Or go over to your coach and say something. Don't deck him.
There you go. There's the story I put in the chat room, everybody.
Am I right?
That's right.
Go say something to your coach. You don't deck him.
The two John Jay High School players identified as sophomore Victor Rojas and senior Mike Mariano by the San Antonio Express-News and assistant coach Mac Breed have been suspended by the Northside Independent School District pending the investigation. So not only did they lose two players, Jeff, they lost an assistant coach from Friday night's 15-9 game.
Wow, because the assistant coach probably told him to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that guy's not going to work in football no more. And those boys ain't going to play in football no more.
Nope, you better find a different profession if you thought that you could go from high school.
They might not be allowed to play in sports anymore.
No.
You know?
I don't think it'll happen wherever they play because coaches and everybody will be aware of it saying, oh, these are the two boys that I don't want them on my team because they must have some anger management issues or
Correct.
something.
Hey, listen. I went to anger management classes. They're not all that they're cracked up to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't work.
Quote, this has been an embarrassment for the school. The UIL in the state of Texas, committee member James Colbert of Houston said. Dallas committee member Gil Garza, who used to work in San Antonio schools, reported tensions in the game between John Jay and Marble Falls High Schools, including punches thrown, late hits, and ejections before the John Jay players rammed umpire Robert Watts. So it looks like there's a little bit of a high school rivalry, a feud that just got blown out of proportion. That's right, Shabba, and I know you, Laura, saying nice job parenting, that the parents didn't do a good job of telling their kids to listen to the coaches and listen to each other, not to get into a clash that ignited into a big fight.
You know what? I don't really care. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? You know what? It's what's going to happen to them is what's going to happen to them, and that's going to be that. Mm-hmm. You know what? Listen, before Ron comes here, because he just turned his green light on, you know what? I'm going to bring him in. You know what? We're going to – I have something I want to talk about, but I really want to get his opinion out because we touched on it yesterday at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And we had to go off the air, and we didn't talk about it enough. And I want to talk about it. And I wanted to do it in the first hour before Ron got here, but we didn't have enough time.
But because we were blasting that cowboy, right? The guy who wrote
blasting
promo.
Tyler. Right. But it's a good thing to talk about because it might work for the NHL as well, what the NBA is doing. Right? We touched on it yesterday a little bit.
Yeah,
about
we
the
talked
NBA,
a little bit.
About the NBA changing the way their standings are going to be. Right? Division winners aren't going to matter now. It's going to go by the record, win-loss record of the season, which I think is the best thing to do. Right?
Right.
We touched on it a little bit yesterday before we went off the air. We didn't have much time to talk about it. I like that idea. I think that's a really great idea. Okay? Just because you win your division don't mean crap. Now it's going to depend on the win-loss record of each team on where they're going to get seeded in the playoffs. And I like that.
It makes sense, too, Jeff, when we add that for the NBA, and I know we can touch base with Ron about that for NHL, because it doesn't make sense when you have teams that are below 500 that make it to the NBA playoffs. That doesn't make sense at all. It should be teams that have winning records, and you pick out the best 8. That's a good choice. I like it.
Correct. So I really, really, really like it. And it's about time they changed it. About freaking time.
Because when you look at what's happened the last couple of years, especially even in the Eastern Conference, you've had teams that have been 9 games under, 10 games under, 8 games under 500 that make the playoffs maybe as an 8th or 7th seed. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No, I like it now. See, the NBA now will seed playoff teams solely by their record, throwing out the top 4 projections for teams who win their divisions. The expected change was unanimously approved Tuesday by the league's Board of Governors. Teams in each conference will be seeded from 1 to 8 by their win-loss record. I like that. We're going to talk more about this with Ron Gallo when we come back. You're listening to Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
So we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hello there. I'm a famous actor. Pretty sure you know who I am. And when I want to know what's going on in the sports world, I tune into Sports World Radio.
She asked me maybe if I could share her sorrow for all the men that tried to treat her.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. 6 o'clock on the east, 3 o'clock on the west, and if you just happen to live in the mountains,
who really cares?
That's right. As we promised, a little late, but he is here each and every Wednesday joining us for some NHL talk, our hockey guru, the Canadian Connection, Ron Gallo. What's up, my friend?
I can't even blame it on snow for being late.
Well, hey, you said it during the break. Even on your day off, sometimes you got to work hard.
Sometimes more on my day off than on the days that I'm at work.
Right. So before we went to break, Ron, we were talking about this NBA story that broke yesterday, and we touched on it very little at the end of the show. And I kind of waited until you came on because I wanted to get your opinion and see if they can do this with hockey. The NBA...
Okay, you were asking me if I know anything about it. I don't.
Great. I'm going to read it right to you. The NBA will now seed playoff teams solely by their record. throwing out the top 4 protection for teams who win their division. So it's solely going to be, so the expected change was unanimously approved Tuesday by the league's Board of Governors. The teams in each conference will be seeded from 1 to 8 by their win-loss record.
Okay, so if I've got this straight, there is 2 divisions like hockey, and then inside each division there's 2 more conference or 2 more interdivisions, or so there's 2 conferences and then 2 more divisions.
Correct. There's the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, and inside the Eastern Conference you got the Atlantic, the Central, and the Southeast. And in the Western, you got the Pacific, the Southwest, and the Northwest. So you got 3 divisions each inside of each conference.
Okay. So I guess the question is, do you think that could work in hockey? I mean, if everybody agrees to it, the short answer is yes. But let's take a look at the schematics of some of that, because in the NHL, you have 2 conferences. You have the West and the East, and inside each conference, you have 2 more divisions. In the Eastern Conference, you have the Atlantic Division and the Metropolitan Division, and out West, you have a Central Division and a Pacific Division. So let's take a look at last season, for example. Playoff-bound teams out of the East included Montreal, Tampa Bay, Detroit, and Ottawa out of the Atlantic Division, New York Rangers, Washington Capitals, New York Islanders, and the Pittsburgh Penguins out of the Metropolitan Division. Let's take a look at the conference and how they finished in the conference and see if that would have made a difference, because there are teams that are guaranteed a position in the because they finished top in their respective divisions. So the New York Rangers won the President's Cup trophy. Montreal ended up winning the other division. Tampa Bay, Washington, New York, Detroit, Ottawa, and Pittsburgh finished in the top 8. When you look at the standings in the East, there would have been no difference except for seeding.
Okay.
Now, in the West, turns out the same. Again, the discrepancy would have been 1 seeding with Minnesota and Winnipeg, I believe. But it does not look like anybody made it through based on just being in the top of the division. Now I'm going to go back to the divisions and look at something here again real quick. 96, 89.
But they do it. But in NHL hockey, they do it with points.
Without question, they do it with points. A win is worth 2 points. A loss is worth nothing, and an overtime decision, if it's an overtime loss, it's still a single point. If it's an overtime win, it's 2 more points.
So it can't be by win and loss.
It is
because they do it by point.
They do it by points. That's right. So if you make it to overtime, you're guaranteed a single point, and you're playing for an extra point. If you win outright in the regulation time, you get only 2 points. This might be off track a little bit, Jeff, but there's a large argument right now about whether or not a regulation time win should be worth 3 points, because there are 3 points given out in games that go to the extra time. But those points determine standings. So if there's 2 teams that come out with the same number of points, last year, Washington Capitals and the New York Islanders both finished with 101 points.
Okay.
Now, the team that got seeded higher was because they had more wins. Not just overtime decisions, but they had more wins. So they move up over the other team, even though they finished with the same amount of points.
So the tiebreaker for the points was who had more wins.
Now, I thought it was the same with the NBA, though. You have a win or a loss, so you get 2 points for a win, don't you?
No, they don't do points. It's just a win or a loss.
So it's just a single point for a win or nothing for a loss.
Well, there's no points in NBA. It's just win-loss record. You win, you win.
How many games do they play in a regular season?
82.
So that's the same as hockey. So looking at the President Cup trophy winners, the New York Rangers, they finished the season out of their 82 games with 53 wins, 22 losses, and 7 overtime losses. So if you take those 7 overtime losses where they were given an extra point, that would technically be 53 and 29, which equals 82. So they would only be grouped according to their 53 wins, correct?
Right.
Okay, so 53 wins in hockey equates to 106 points. They got an additional 7 points because they lost in overtime, so they finished the season with 113 points. It's not true win-loss like you're stating, where NBA gives out 1 point for a win, 0 for a loss, and no extra points for an overtime decision. So, yeah, there's definitely discussion in the NHL about how to make it a level playing field. And instead of going to a single point for a game, they're actually talking about going to 3 points per game.
Really?
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, the reason why is because there's 2 points that are given out for a win in regulation time. The problem is that there's technically 3 points given out to a game, or given out to the two teams that play in a game that go to overtime. So the argument is if there's 3 points for an overtime, why can't there be 3 points for a regulation time win? So keeps every game equal as far as the math goes. Means that everybody's worth 3 points. So.
Right. Wow. So see, with the NBA, you don't get any points. If you win the game, you get 1 win. If you lose the game, you get 1 loss. So between an 82 game schedule, you can be 70 and 12. That's your record.
Exactly.
There's no points at all.
There's no real breakdown from there.
Right. There's no points. You can actually be 41 and 41. There were some teams last year that were 41 and 41 and made the playoffs. There were teams under 500 that made the playoffs.
That's right.
So they don't do it like the NHL. That's why I asked you if NHL could do it, because I know the NHL does it on a point system, not a win-loss system.
So my quick answer then, like I said, anything's possible, but no, I don't see that happening because there'd be too much argument because of the fluctuation in points. We're talking NBA has a straight single point for a win. If you get 50 wins in a season, you have 50 wins. If somebody has 49 wins, they have 1 less win than the 50-point one, so they're 1 and 2.
So why does NHL keep a record of the wins-losses if it's a point system?
They keep it for the tiebreaker.
They keep it for the tiebreaker.
Okay, for the tiebreaker.
Right?
Right.
So if 2 teams finish with the same number of points, the first tiebreaker is wins.
Has it always been points?
It's always been points in hockey. Always.
Yeah, I don't know why they just don't abolish the points and, you win, you lose, and that's that, and just go with the record.
Well, don't forget, too, Jeff, when you and I were, growing up, still going to school and trying to watch hockey, overtime was true overtime. It was 5-on-5, and it was played until somebody scored. And if that meant 2 o'clock in the morning, that meant 2 o'clock in the morning.
I see many Islander games go till 2 o'clock in the morning, many, 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 many overtimes.
But now with overtimes, it's different. It's like, remember, now they play the 5-minute overtime, and then they go to the shootout. And I guess the shootouts aren't that bad. I've always been wondering, too, Ron, your thoughts still about the shootouts. Do you still like them?
I missed back in the day when they played overtime after overtime. They played a 20-minute full overtime, a full period. Nobody scores. Take a freaking court, take the regular break, and you come back and you play another 20-minute overtime until somebody scores. That's the way it should be.
And there was a full intermission as well. Like
Correct.
They get full flood, not a dry scrape, and the whole 9 yards.
That's the way it should be.
Now they save that for the NHL playoffs. It's like 20. They go to intermission. They take a break. They figure out, both teams talk about what they can do with one team wanting to come out with
That's
the
the way it should be in the regular season, man. I don't care what anybody says.
Well,
but I take it, Jeff, you're not very thrilled about these shootouts. Like, play 5 minutes, then they do a shootout for both teams.
Okay, we'll touch on all of that. We're getting close to the bottom of the hour here, but there's one thing I want to state right away. Maybe this is a Gary Bettman bash time, but you remember, hockey is the only sport that did this, and the reason why was a number of years ago, they were trying to get hockey to become one of those sports where, and I know it sounds like this is a Canadian picking on the Americans, but truly, the sport of hockey has never gone past at least being the third most popular. In fact, most people say that it's the fifth most popular sport in the United States. And there's always been a desire to see that grow and to see the fan base in the United States grow exponentially as well. And they've tried everything. Everybody remembers the blue puck on Fox. But one of the things is that they decided that they thought that 3 hours or longer was too long for a hockey game. So how do you shorten it? Well, there was the quicker whistles. There was the penalties for delay of game. There was the introduction of no full intermission between regulation and overtime. And they tweaked overtime so much so that they limited the amount of time that they were allowed to play for the extra period, took a player off the ice. And then they introduced the shootout because they still didn't want to end in a tie. They wanted a decision of a win or a loss, but they still gave the other team the extra point. So this was all designed to try and encapsulate the game of hockey into under 3 hours. In fact, they've got it down to about 2.5 hours, and that's where they want to be. Even if it goes to extra time, they don't want to see the game going longer than 2.5 hours. My argument is basketball and baseball will still go to the bitter end. And if that's 19 innings, it's 19 innings.
See, I like that.
Oh, yeah. I remember back talking about MLB. I remember back in April, they called it the marathon, and the Red Sox, the Yankees played a 19-inning game, and it went until the wee hours of the night. And it was one of the longest Red Sox-Yankee games I remember. And I Skyped with Jeff, too, when that happened.
We got to run to our final update of the day. This update is brought to you by JockJournal.com. Head on over to JockJournal.com. Check out their writers, all their opinion pieces, their discussions over there. We're bringing their writers on here. Head on over to JockJournal.com and check them out today. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the last update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Thank you to Ron. 30 minutes after the hour on Wednesday, September 9th, 2015. In the NFL, tomorrow the NFL season begins. New England Patriots will raise their banner to the rafters. They will host the Pittsburgh Steelers on NBC, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth calling the opener of the NFL season, the long campaign tomorrow. In the NBA, of course, a lot of the NBA players are starting to train. LeBron James is now spending a lot of his time working out in Miami, where he used to play with the Miami Heat, but he goes down there and he works out there to get himself prepared for the 2015-2016 Cavaliers season. The NBA preseason is expected to begin next month. The NHL players are, of course, back in training camp, but we are not that far off from the NHL preseason coming up in a few weeks, ladies and gentlemen, as the NHL is going to be back in full swing. Starting actually Wednesday night, October 7th, the Chicago Blackhawks, congratulations to them. They will raise their Stanley Cup championship banner to the rafters. And now we move to the big story, which is Major League Baseball. The Mets and the Nationals, game's on ESPN. That game is tied at 1. Same goes for the Orioles and Yankees, tied at 1. The Braves lead the Phillies 1-0. Rays at the Tigers, no score in that one. No score down in Fenway Park in Boston. The Red Sox hosting the Blue Jays. The Pirates, they lead the Reds 1-0. Brewers lead Marlins 1-0. Other action tonight in Major League Baseball, the Indians at the White Sox, Twins at the Royals, Rockies at Padres, Giants at Diamondbacks. Another game on ESPN, interleague play. It'll be the Dodgers at the Angels, Astros at the Athletics, and lastly, the Rangers against the Mariners. One final from today, the Chicago Cubs, who have been one of the hottest teams in baseball, kind of cooled off today. They lost to the St. Louis Cardinals 4-3. That's the final update for Sports World Radio. This update is brought to you by JockJournal.com. Go on over today, ladies and gentlemen, over to jockjournal.com and look at all the major sports stories and learn a lot more from the journalists who write about a lot of the NFL teams with NFL football season in full swing. Be right back after this commercial break with more hockey talk with Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, and Ron Gallo.
Have a question for Sean or Jeff? Tweet them now at Sports World Radio or on Facebook at Sports World Radio.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think. Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
When I'm not out there acting and I want to know what's going on in the sports world, I tune in to Sports World Radio.
All I want is to be loved.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday on SportsWorldRadio.com, 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West, and if you live in the Central,
figure it out!
That's right. Joining us like he does each and every Wednesday in the second hour of our show to talk hockey is our hockey guru, the Canadian Connection, Ron Gallo.
Thanks for having me, of course, Jeff and Sean. Before the commercial break, you talked about watching the New York Islanders. Not sure if you heard of the sad news from last week, but Al Arbour has passed away.
Yeah, that guy was instrumental back when I was a kid for the New York Islanders. He was the head coach, man, running that freaking team with Trottier and Bossy and Smith and all those guys. Man, that was a great, that's when hockey was hockey.
That was hockey, you bet.
Now it's just like, okay, let's ride around on our ice skates and throw a puck around.
Yeah, they don't play them like they did. That's for sure. 4 Stanley Cup rings for him.
Yes, all with the Islanders, right?
Yeah, and I think all 4 in one go, like 4 back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, back-to-back. Yeah, what was that, in the late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah, would have went through to the early 80s, and then it would have started actually very late, 79-80 season.
Yeah.
80-81, 81-82, 82-83, and then they were a finalist in 83-84. They just about did it for fifth year. Couldn't get past, I believe, Edmonton that year.
Yeah, that's when the Islanders were freaking the Islanders. Now they're just Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah. Welcome, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I believe it was 80, 81, 82, and 83. That was the years that the Islanders won those cups. And then, of course, they tried in 84 and lost to the Edmonton Oilers. But they were, Jeff, for you.
Is there an echo in here, Jeff?
Yes, there is an echo in here.
But
it's called Sean Mann.
I'm just saying that they were the big story for you growing up, Jeff, with the Islanders and how they were the dynasty of the 80s with the cups that they won in the early 80s.
It was freaking awesome, man. It was, you know what? It was a great time to be an Islander fan. Not such a good time to be a Ranger fan, but a great time to be an Islander fan.
One of the things to note about Al Arbour, in his total, coached 1,600 games. He had, if you're talking points, his team finished with 1,812 points under his tenure. But the postseason, 16 playoff appearances, 4 Stanley Cups in that time. If you look back, he only missed the postseason 7 seasons.
Right.
Out of all of the seasons that he coached.
Right. He was a great coach, man. And the Islanders weren't the Islanders without him behind the bench.
No, without question.
It was a great time to be an Islander fan. I went to so many Islander games back then. It was a great time to be an Islander fan.
He also had 4 Stanley Cups as a player. In 1954, he won that with the Detroit Red Wings. In 1961 with the Chicago Blackhawks. And 1962 and 1964 with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow. I see that. I didn't know. Well, yeah. See, I read the article last week that he passed away, because I was an Islander fan. That's why I read it.
Yeah, he passed away in his home at the age of 82 in Florida. I think it was August the 28th.
Yeah, he had a great life.
He did.
Great life.
You did. I wanted to touch on that because I knew that you followed the New York Islanders, and of course that's a sad day in New York Islanders history right now is the passing of Al Arbour on August the 28th.
Yeah. It was kind of. I saw that, and we didn't say. I don't think we even mentioned it on the show when it happened. I know we were.
I was going to text you. I don't know if I texted you because that was when I was down in Vancouver getting ready for the bike ride.
Right. Yeah, I knew about it.
Okay.
Hey, Danger Zone is a Bruins fan?
No, she is a Detroit Red Wings fan. She's talking with me about how loud and how tough, Ron, the Joe Louis Arena can be. Jeff, too.
You know what? There's a few buildings that just erupt, and certainly Joe Louis Arena is one of them. Other ones that I can think of are the Madhouse on Madison with the Chicago Blackhawks. But don't wear an opposing jersey's or an opposing team's jersey in Madison Square Gardens.
Oh yes,
those fans are tough, and same with Boston.
They'll eat you up alive over there, man.
Oh yeah.
MSG, that has always been the most famous arena ever, and it's been always a tough place to play.
Look at this. We're surrounded by Wing fans in this chat room over here. Man.
And for the Bruins, yes, the TD Bank North Garden, which I went to, Ron, when I was in Boston, that's a very tough place to play. A lot of people were telling me when I was there that when playoff time comes, that place has got hockey all over it with the Boston Bruins. And then, of course, don't forget about the United Center. Josh was telling me about that, too, about how it can be tough for any team, like you mentioned before with the Blackhawks, how tough the United Center can be. And speaking of the Blackhawks, another story I wanted to touch base with you about, Ron, is this. The Chicago Blackhawks captain Jonathan Tayl focused Thursday on the importance of team unity in light of the situation involving Patrick Kane. He says that the Blackhawks must stay together as a team in order to have a chance to repeat. What's your thoughts?
Without question, we've talked about this. And,
plenty of time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not that I want to correct you, but Jonathan Tayl.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not spelt like that, but that's how it's pronounced. It's Jonathan Tayl.
Yeah, that's
right. But he's talking about team unity. We saw that at the regular season transition into the postseason. In that first round, Chicago was not a unified team. It wasn't until the second round where we saw them kind of band together and figure it out and remind themselves that they have been able to have the success that they've had because they do have a very strong core group that needs to work together. The tough thing is, and I suppose it's tougher in baseball. But I mean, an 82 regular season schedule with games every other night, it's really, really tough to be, it's really, really tough to, let's put it this way, it's easy to fall out of unification.
The hard part is repeating, no question about that. But the Blackhawks, to me, still are, I'm going to say this too, I give Josh a bunch of crap all the time for fun because I like the man. I have a lot of respect for him. You too, Jeff. No hard feelings when it comes to our teams, but I can say this with the Blackhawks. There's no question about it that they're going to be a very tough team to play when the season starts again. And can they repeat? Absolutely, the Blackhawks can repeat, but it's going to take a lot of months, a lot of work, a lot of gaining of points and winning a lot of games and even the shootouts. And I think with the Blackhawks, they're going to be very tough in the Western Conference again.
Blackhawks are going to be tough. You know who's got the pressure tough? Is Steven Stamkos in the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes, I agree, because my belief too, Ron, is can they recover from last year losing the Cup Finals to the Blackhawks? That's going to be a big question.
I just see all eyes being on Tampa Bay because they got so close. It's not because they were a Cinderella team. It's because they've done so much, and Steve Yzerman has put together a good team. Steven Stamkos on the ice has had his ups and downs, but more recently a lot of ups for Steven Stamkos. It'll be interesting to see if Tampa Bay has put together a team that can go the distance. There's a lot of people out there that are picking Tampa Bay to finish up near the top in the Eastern Conference, if not the NHL overall, and especially, of course, in their Atlantic Division. But the problem is that's on paper. So where it becomes really, really tough is they've got to be able to do what they did last year and do it again this year. And some people are suggesting that Tampa Bay was a one-off team last year where things just happened to fall into the right place at the right time, and they got the wins when they needed the wins, and there isn't a sense that they can duplicate the efforts of last year. So it's going to be interesting because on paper, Tampa Bay looks like a team that should be able to do it, but the knock or the question mark is under scrutiny. If they lose a couple of games out of the gate early October, well, what's going to happen for the rest of their season? Do they end up in a tailspin?
That's a big question indeed. And on that note, 45 minutes after the hour, we have to run to our final commercial break of the day.
You're listening to Jeff Escow, Showman, and Ron Gallo on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble at speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West, and if you live in the Central,
figure it out.
That's right. All right, we got Ron Gallo joining us like he does each and every Wednesday in the second hour of the show. This is our final segment for today's show. We've been taking you on a 2-hour sports journey. We had Taylor on earlier talking about his article that he had written for the top 10 quarterbacks this year for the NFL from jockjournal.com, which I did not like, so we brought him on the air and we discussed that with him. We're still in our hockey mode right now. Where are we going, Mr. Ron?
Well, I figure, we're 4 weeks away, so players are starting to arrive. People are starting to look at their fantasy pools. People are starting to try and figure out and sort out on paper what's going to come of the 2015-2016 NHL season. Ultimately, we are all perfect at this point. It's once the puck drops where things will go. I wanted to take just a real quick look and take a look at one team from each division if I can, and just kind of say that these are finishing up near the top. There's an interesting article that I've come across that's listing the Central Division as becoming the strongest division in hockey. I don't know that I agree with that, except that they're playing in the West, and I find that the West is tougher than the East, but we'll see about that because the West also has some very finesse-type teams like the Anaheim Ducks, like the Los Angeles Kings, like the San Jose Sharks, all in the state of California. They don't like to be too rough and tough. They prefer to be more of a finesse-type team, especially the Anaheim Ducks. But the Central Division, start there real quick. St. Louis Blues do this every year. The problem is will they ever get through the postseason? It's hard to say. But my pick for coming out of the Central Division near the top, if not in top spot, is the St. Louis Blues. In the Pacific Division, I'm going with the Anaheim Ducks. Probably followed by the Los Angeles Kings because they always seem to show up there. So those are two teams to watch for in the West, one from each division. When you start going out to the East, the Metropolitan Division is the one that I keep my eye on quite a bit because, of course, this is where all of the powerhouse out of the East come from. This is where Pittsburgh, Washington, the New York Rangers, the Philadelphia Flyers, and the New Jersey Devils all play. I can actually see this year Washington Capitals doing better than the other teams. Pittsburgh Penguins, I think, are on the verge of not making it to the postseason for the first time in I don't know how long.
My question...
Go
I'm
ahead.
just going to say real quickly. My thing with the Washington Capitals is this. It just seems to me that every time we expect them to maybe be good, and like you're saying that, Ron, it's a good point. But the big problem with the Capitals is they can't get it done in the clutch when it comes to the playoffs, though.
It goes back to what Jonathan Tayl was talking about, being unified. Washington Capitals are a very individualistic team. They're probably going to have the leading goal scorer on that team in Alexander Ovechkin. But you can't build a team necessarily around a prolific goal scorer. If he gets hurt, if he gets too idealistic and he starts worrying about himself and not the rest of his team and doesn't care about the wins, just cares about the points, then you're absolutely right. The Washington Capitals are going to flounder. Maybe not in the regular season, but they will in the postseason. It's the same problem that the St. Louis Blues have. They figure it out in the regular season but can't get it to duplicate in the postseason. The postseason is a completely different game than the regular season. So although I say Washington Capitals are going to be a team to watch in the Metropolitan Division for being in top spot, it doesn't necessarily parlay into my thoughts for the postseason at all.
True, and it's going to be amazing to see how well the Capitals look. I have my questions about them. Jeff, you're always happy when the Capitals fold and screw up and fail when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, screw Ovechkin.
What about
Go ahead.
your thoughts on the Flyers?
Philadelphia Flyers are going to be there in the middle of the pack. They'll more than likely make it into the 7th or the 8th spot for the playoffs. So they'll be 7th or 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. They'll be there. The Philadelphia Flyers are one of those perennial strong teams that other teams just have difficulty with. The problem with the Metropolitan Division is that there is those 4 strong teams, and they beat each other up all season long. And that's why sometimes the Metropolitan Division can't go very far into the postseason. They just don't have the legs anymore.
No.
The division that I have the hardest time with is the Atlantic Division. And Sean, you and I love this Atlantic Division for 2 different reasons. One, the Montreal Canadiens, the other, the Boston Bruins. I don't see either of those 2 teams being up at the top, by the way, this coming year. The Montreal Canadiens, I'm hoping they'll surprise me because they've really got their same core. But Detroit Red Wings are the sleeper team coming into the Atlantic Division this year, I feel. And the other one that's going to send some shockwaves through the system is the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs are probably going to finish in the top 5 in the Eastern Conference. So I expect them to finish in the top 3 in the Atlantic Division. So the Toronto Maple Leafs will be up near the top. Detroit Red Wings, a sleeper team, up near the top. And then I think Montreal and Boston will be somewhere fighting for one of those last 3 postseason playoff berths.
The Bruins, Ron, the way I assess the Boston Bruins for 2015 and 2016, sure, I'm going to stick with them the entire year like I do with all the other Boston sports teams. But the way I look at the Bruins is that it's been a lot of change for the Bruins because, first off, Peter Chiarelli, I expected it. I knew he was going to get fired because of the disappointing ending to the season last year for 2014 and 2015 when expectations were so high. Now they've got a new general manager in Sweeney, and they've gotten rid of a lot of their big players from that 2011 team. The Bruins are going to look kind of different, but I don't know. My expectations of the Bruins, it's kind of like uncertain if they're going to be a really competitive team in the Eastern Conference this year.
I think that they're going to make it into the postseason, but like I said, they're going to be one of those, they're going to be one of those 3 or 4 teams that are battling for the last 3 or 2 spots, spot number 6, 7, or 8.
I think so too. If that's the way I look at it, that the 6th, 7th, or 8th seed would probably be where the Boston Bruins would need to be. Of course, Zdeno Chara probably realizing that this is probably his last go around because Zdeno's been a big addition, a big piece. He's the captain of the team. So Bruins probably, I would say 50-50 the way I look at them. The Canadiens, though, they're the arch rivals. They're going to be tough to beat again, probably, and I can probably see them in the postseason again.
Well, I certainly hope that the Montreal Canadiens are going to be in the postseason. The one team, like I said, that I don't think is coming out of the East into the postseason is the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Ooh, that would disappoint Wes.
Well, and I mean, I hate saying it because depending on who you talk to, some of them say that they've got all the right pieces, and Phil Kessel is one of the big pieces that added to that team. I just see a disconnect with the Pittsburgh Penguins this year.
And Jeff, that would make you happy because then you could give Wes some junk about the Penguins.
Yeah, well, he's only got one team left after the Penguins go down. So I mean, after
the Pirates,
after the Pirates go down, yeah, he's only got one team left anyway. So it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Hey, you know what? We're going to get the flock out of here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. I really appreciate your time and spending the last 2 hours with us. We do this each and every Monday through Friday. 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West, and if you live in the Central,
figure it out
on SportsWorldRadio.com. Join us, won't you? Every day. Be a part of the show. It's a lot of fun. I want to thank Ron Gallo for joining us like he did today. I also want to thank Tayl. How do you pronounce his last name, Sean?
Tayl Galuska.
Galuska. That's right. Tayl Galuska from JockJournal.com coming on and talking to us about his top 10 quarterbacks this year in the NFL. For Sean Mann, Ron Gallo, I'm Jeff Escal. This has been Sports World Radio. Remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.
Goodbye, and have a great evening.
Shut up.
Go Blue Jays, eh?
Shut up, Skip.
Thanks for listening to Sports World Radio with your hosts, Jeff Escal and Sean Mann. Online at SportsWorldRadio.com. Sports World Radio, the equal opportunity ripper. We'll catch you next time.